morning. Tensions are high in New Haven as controversial plans here to expand Tweed Airport in the works. People who live nearby are worried about more traffic and more noise, and with another rideshare option being added today, those concerns continue to grow. Your reporter Anna Stansfield live from the airport for us this morning. Anna, what's the latest here?
Okay, good morning. People who live closest to the airport in these neighborhoods right outside of it say they're already dealing with traffic backups on a daily basis. With Uber returning to the airport here today, they say their concerns are, of course, only growing. And last night, in a fiery meeting, they had their voices heard. Standing room only at last night's discussion. More than 100 community members came out to voice their concerns about a potential upcoming expansion at Tweed Airport. Pending local and state approval, officials say there will be a new terminal, larger runways, and more parking. But growth is the last thing these locals say they want to see, as they say traffic is already a constant battle.
The traffic is horrendous. I can't even get into my own driveway.
I have no problem with the airport. I've lived here for almost 80 years, and I like the airport. However, it's gotten to the point where I don't feel safe any longer.
And again, with Uber returning to the airport here today, rideshare services were a big topic of discussion among those concerned locals last night. Officials say they are committed to looking into those concerns and making sure that Uber drivers and other rideshare services know exactly where they're allowed to drive and where they're allowed to park. I'm your reporter live in New Haven, Anna Stansfield, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.